Hi, Ellen.
Hi. I'm so excited for you to be here today, and I'm excited for you to share with us a little bit about your journey to becoming a home-based florist because you just passed your 1 year anniversary of getting started, and I thought this would be a
Woohoo.
good time to catch up.
We landed in a place in Southern Maryland during the pandemic that happens to have a proliferation of flower growers. And I thought, well, I'm in this sort of wonderful spot.
Right.
So I can really celebrate locally grown flowers. Um, and that paired with a passion that was, when forced to say, well, what do I want to do? This is kind of all I want to do. That's what prompted me to start the business and go forward. After a lot of doubt, you and others really helped to build me up, give me the confidence to go, okay, you can do this. You can do this.
And Ian, what was the decision making like thinking about working from home, sort of setting up a studio in your house, the logistics of, not only starting a new business, but working out of your house.
It was less a choice than it was um, the only option.
Right.
Um, I knew that in starting the business, I really wanted to focus on events. I
Mhm.
was not really interested in a retail piece at this point. The business model for me um, just didn't work. I knew, having worked in the event design floral business, that you didn't actually need a lot of space to do it. I relied on the kindness of growers so I could utilize, rent cooler space if I needed it, have some additional space if I needed it, or if I was knew I was going to make a real kind of mess of sorts.
Mhm.
Um, but we did have this space that was sitting there. We hadn't identified what we were going to use it for yet, and so I just kind of took it over, and I'm using it. A year into the business, I'm I'm finding that I would like some more separation.
Mhm.
At this point, it's not urgent. It's not absolutely necessary, but I am feeling like I would like a place that I don't have to clean up all the time.
Right.
Um,
Yeah, it's great that you had those partnerships with the growers to be able to access, their resources too, like a cooler or more space. I think that's one of the
Absolutely.
things that when you're a home-based florist, you don't think so much about until it is time for a big event or a big job. And then, having those resources in place, I think can really make a difference. So that's terrific.
Absolutely. It's all, I have to say, partnerships have been incredibly important in the
Hmm.
start of this business. Not only with the growers, really, real. I keep saying that this business was built on relationships, and it's true.
Yeah.
Not only was it about um, my outreach to growers, giving them an understanding that I knew the challenges that they faced, and expressing to them my desire in design to help celebrate seasonality and what they were
Right.
growing. But it was also various businesses around the county, the Tri County area, that really allowed me to have a face forward. Um, and while uh, retail is not necessarily my raison d'etre, having the ability to interact with people through another business, gain access to their clients, to their
Yeah.
customers, and have an opportunity to what I call a STEM bar at their
Mhm.
location in and around a holiday that we associate with flowers is a really great way to connect with people and community and gets my name out there.
Yeah.
In this second year of the business, I really want to focus more on building those strengthening the partnerships that I have, building more of those
Hmm.
partnerships, particularly with the event venues
Yeah.
that are out here in where I am in Southern
Right.
Maryland. There's a bit of a destination event
Right.
culture here. So I for anyone starting, I can't stress enough um, the importance of building relationships, which one needs to steward into partnerships.
Right.
It's so important.
It's also a good reminder too, because I think maybe some people who are starting out as home-based florists may feel sort of isolated, or, you're sort of working in a bubble, and probably even more so on the retail side. But this, I think, just goes to show that even if you are a home-based florist, you are interacting with your community, with the growers, with partners, and that really makes for not an isolating experience, more of a rich community experience, as even as a home-based florist.
Absolutely. I mean, you with local color flowers have built such a unique and dynamic community in Baltimore,
Hmm.
and I really use that as an example. And I need to have
Right.
connectivity, um, despite my introversion.
Yeah.
I need to have connectivity with people, even in these slower shoulder moments like we
Yeah.
are in January. The fact that I'm having conversations with the growers about the events that are upcoming, that I'm able to use my platform as an opportunity to connect growers with
Yeah.
other growers or with people who need something that I may not be able to give. So
That's
I
great.
I still feel like I
Yeah.
have this community around me.
Right. And how, I know you mentioned that you are the sort of primary caregiving parent in your family.
Mhm.
How have you sort of negotiated, maneuvered around working at home with a small child?
Well, yeah, it's not easy. I'll say that it's been an interesting, gosh, what do? You work weird hours.
Hmm.
You do things at weird times that may not necessarily where you may not necessarily be at your best, but you
Right.
have to be because it is what it is. Um, I'm fortunate to have my husband, my co-parent, who is able to really sort of when we have an event week with the business,
Right.
I'm fortunate enough to be able to call on him to help support me
Hmm.
during that. Um, it's a wonderful thing and it's a challenging thing. It's a wonderful thing because I'm here. I'm the one calling the shots. So if something were to happen with the kiddo, I'm able to pivot pretty
Right.
quickly. I'm here. I'm able to do it, and then get back into the fray pretty easily. At the same time, um, the challenge is that one thing they all kind of blend together
Right.
sometimes, and it takes a lot of discipline to kind of switch back to the work,
Right.
and or switch back to the parent, um, eh, when it's all together in this sort of
Right.
wonderful familial soup.
Yeah.
So um, but I wouldn't, and even in the year it's been, Ellen, it's gotten easier.
Yeah.
Um, she will be turning 5 this summer. She's in a pre-K program. So my time with her is not as demanding
Right.
as it was even 6, 8 months ago.
Yeah, that's great. So Ian, as we close today, do you have, I guess, two things? One, are there things in this coming year that you're really focusing on in terms of, being a home-based florist, like anything that you're trying to improve upon or really hone in on that you could share with listeners?
I think it's really about continuing to get the word out about who I am and what this business is trying to do. It's about developing more partnerships. It's about um, working with the county office of economic development so that they know who I am and I'm included in things within the county and community that build community.
Right.
Um, and I think it's really about building the capital necessary to begin to build the capital necessary to really look at relocating out of the home. I know that there are people who do it in their home
Ever.
forever, and I think that's great. We just have a finite amount of ability here with what we can do with
Right.
the space. Um, so it really will be necessary if the business grows to look for a space in which it can grow
Right.
in.
That's great. And do you have any advice or any words of wisdom for people who might be considering starting a home-based florist business this year?
Gosh, I would say do it. We happen to live in a state that makes creating a business really easy to
Mhm.
do. It may feel daunting, all of the paperwork, business stuff side of it, but there are so many resources in the state of Maryland. Certainly, I'm sure there are equal number of resources in states all across the country that can
Right.
help you do that stuff. And it's really not as hard as one thinks it is to
Mhm.
do. It can happen pretty quickly and pretty easily. Um, the one thing I say to people when they say, "How is it going? How are you doing?" I say, "Well, it's going great, and I wish I would have done it 10 years ago.
Oh,
I really wish I just would have done it because I get so much joy out of it.
that's
Um,
great.
and particularly when you're a home-based event florist, it doesn't mean that you have to give up doing something else.
Mhm.
This can be you can figure this out so it can be an additional income stream for you,
Right.
or a side hustle, as we like to say.
Right.
It happens to be my full-time. I'm fortunate enough to have it be my full-time thing, but you don't have to pressure yourself to think about it that way.
Right.
Look at your year, plan out your year. Where do you have gaps? Fill it with fill it with events. But
Right.
I would say do it. I would say do it. If flowers are your deep, deep passion, do it.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Ian, for joining us today, and good luck with your second year. Look forward to hearing all about your successes in the coming year.
Thank you, Ellen. It was a thrill to be here today. I hope I have inspired others.
Excellent. Thank you.
Okay. Bye.